Jonesy, we're back for another edition of the Big Futures Guys edition of the On the Drift podcast. This time, mate, we're going April.
Yeah, we're Chad Futures Guys.
Yeah.
Real big on it.
Yeah.
Congrats to Chad, by the way.
Oh, mate.
How sealing the deal.
Yeah, isn't he? He's good, isn't he? Apparently he's been training really hard in the off season and, is really just happy for the W.
Yep. Apparently, the game yesterday really was a tale of two halves.
You know who said that immediately after the game yesterday? Mal Meninga. So, really was a tale of two halves this game? I was like, oh, Christ, Mal. Come on.
Mal was Mal's big with the obviously. If you watch the cover, now that I've said that, you watch the coverage.
Okay.
He says obviously like in a singular question, he'll say obviously about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, right.
It's funny, yeah.
Okay.
Good on you, Mal.
All right. 6th of April, day one of the championship. So,
who's going to be there?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. How good?
Yep.
So, let's kick off with, what's your favourite race on this day? The Donny or the TJ?
I'd say probably more consistently the TJ.
Yep.
But the Donny's a great race too.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, the
What about
TJ, I love a handicap mile. I really do. I don't recall having much luck in the Doncaster. but the Epsom's more my jam. I feel like I have a mortgage on that race each year. The TJ Smith, 1200 metre rather, weight for age, sprint. 16 of the last 17 winners were coming off finishing 4th or better in their lead-up run. Makes sense, right? Basically, you just want the best sprinter heading in. I think the exception to that rule was Santa Ana Lane.
Yeah, that is the exception to the rule.
And he was very, very good.
Yeah.
So, Imperatriz, $3.60. I Wish I Win, $5. Private Eye, $5. At Cabin, $11. Osmosis, $11. Cylinder, $13s. Espiona, $13s. Buenos Noches, $15s. Hawaii, 50, $15s. Bella Nipotina, big price, $17. Passive Aggressive, $17s. Anything there garner your interest?
They found him, but Af Cabin at 11s. That was a brilliant return for him over 1,000.
He'll probably be, third up here?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, probably running out of time, given we're recording this, mid-March, so he'd probably go into the Galaxy.
He's going to go into the Galaxy, yeah.
Then into this.
Yep.
Okay.
I'd say. The Galaxy, right up his alley. That's shaping up to be a brilliant race. And we'll talk more about the middle distance plus races at weight for age this autumn. They're not creating a lot of interest, but the sprint races look phenomenal as per.
Yep. What about someone like, and this would shock a lot of people, but look at what he did in the Kosciuszko. First up, he was 3 out of 5 lame, front page at $51.
Yeah, there's worse things at $50 that I could steer you into. I gave him a bit of a look.
I prefer him over, say, like an I Am Me, you know what I mean? And, his I Wish I Win's obviously the class. Imperatriz, she's been sensational, but she's probably been down on what she's done this prep compared to what she did in the autumn. Her Sydney leg, obviously, massive question marks. There's a reason why they didn't take to an Everest, right? So, Private Eye's been running really well without winning. Camera run on at times.
I Wish I Win's going to be first up.
It's interesting.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I think there's some value in this market if you want to have a bit of a look-see. So, someone like a Magic Time at 50s wouldn't be the worst. Airman's at 100s. They're this price for a reason. But, Imperatriz, if she has an off day, I Wish I Win, he's first up. So I could see you into a few at big odds there.
The way I was kind of thinking about it is...
Think about it.
Was, all right, who's going to be the horse that is going to be like one of the favourite runners that I think is going to basically run a bottler in the Galaxy? And there's basically 3 horses that at generous prices. Af Cabin at $11 is, I think that's rock bottom. I kind of need to see him put it together as well, more than one run. Sunshine in Paris at $26, they gave her an Everest slot. So
that first up run to get her an Everest slot was breathtaking.
yeah, it was, and she brained Espiona, and we know what Espiona did for the rest of prep, right? Mate, the other one, and he has never, ever been one of mine, but Shinzo at $51. Like, where's he at? I think he's first up into a Galaxy, isn't he?
I'm not sure what they're doing with Shinzo, to be honest. But yeah, I think that is the plan. Yeah, there's way worse things I could see you into at 50s. There's a few like in the market at shorter prices where I'm like, really? Like Cylinder, yeah, he's 13s, but he's just won a sprint handicap. He did really well, but you put him back at weight for age over 1,200 meters. I'd be happy to take him on. Buenos Not Chess at 15s, like I can steer clear of that horse for the rest of his career, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, tell me when he's put it together and absolutely brained him.
He hasn't. And if he's, I think one day he was versing, who's that absolute nutcase of a horse that's lost on protest?
Archo Nacho?
No. Lost on protest from Godolphin like 3 times.
Oh, Spacewalk.
Yeah. Like the naughtiest horse from Godolphin. Like, so I think he's had, like he finished second past the post against that horse at Flemington. So that's one of his career wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buenos, like he has all the talent in the world, but yeah, I think his mind might be on, the margaritas.
The cerveza. The tequila. Yeah. Taquito. Go for some Mexican, actually.
Yeah.
Hawaii 5-0. Fascinating. What's the plan for him?
I've heard all aged.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he runs well in an all age without winning, he'd be a great Stradbroke horse.
Well, he was a great Stradbroke horse last year.
Yeah, I know. He ran third.
Did you have 49 kilos that day?
49 and 50, yeah.
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 And he's honestly, you need to see this thing in real life. IRL. He is fucking enormous.
Like,
I think he's the biggest horse I've ever seen.
Yeah. In the flesh, I think he's the biggest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He is enormous.
Well, he's no Cafe Millennium, but
God. God. Who's the other one that's absolutely enormous?
Wasn't it Yulong Silks?
Yeah.
Yulong Turbo?
Yulong Turbo. The biggest horse I've ever seen. Like, I would love to see where that horse is now, just so I can see him in the flesh. He was so big.
I reckon that was.
He didn't look right running.
I reckon that was 150 podcast episodes ago.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah,
and mate, he'd be more than 600 kilos.
Yeah,
a massive horse. But yeah, Hawaii 5-0, he gives me big 1,400 meter vibes.
Like Bella Nipotina at $17 as well. Like, if you want to take on the favourites here, I feel like we've given you plenty of options.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know who I'll be with on the day.
Yeah, I'm in love with I Wish I Win. If you were listening to the end of our last podcast, you know that I have an early position with him to place in that race. Let's knock the other kind of like underwhelming races from the day one of the champions off. So the Australian Derby, 2,400 metres, set weights. So 6 horses have done the Rosehill Guineas and Australian Derby double, but the last one was Criterion in 2014. Only one filly has won the Derby in the last 34 years, and that was Sham Morocco in 2011. And 19 of the last 22 winners were coming off 4th or better in their lead-up run. Now, one of your favourite... I found this race really, and I find it really difficult for the Derbies in general and the Oaks races because they develop so lately. I found it really hard to steer into anything in particular, but you love the Tulloch typically as a form reference, like the week back up. Pretty much anything that wins that or is the shining light in that.
Yeah. So like hard to say what's going to run in that, but so if you're looking at one, and it's the price is rock bottom for me, but the late developers is immediacy, right? It's coming here, it's following the classic path, but it's $11, and if you're getting 11 for him, but you're getting 12 for Militarize, like you know what I mean? Yeah,
and I'm annoyed at myself that I didn't really look too much into immediacy either, but like he's the one that I highlighted as well, but there's a general rule that I go against for these classics in the 2 and 3 year old seasons, and that's like if they're in their first prep, just put a line through them. And so his first career start was December 29th. Then his second career start was 17th Jan, 5 weeks into that breathtaking win in that Autumn Classic on the 24th of Feb. He'll be heading into the Rosehill Guineas and then into the Derby. And that's a lot to ask in a first preparation.
It is, but I think he's with the right stable.
Absolutely.
So if you like him, like $11, I'd probably want a bigger price, but I wouldn't steer you away. If we're going back to the Victorian Derby, obviously Riff Rocket, Apulia were the two out of that. The stables come out and said about Riff Rocket, he just did that on talent. We don't actually think he's a stayer. He's $6 here. Apulia's 15s. Apulia looked like, to me, that it was a stayer. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. The other ones that I kind of wish was heading to the Victoria Derby last year was the best mate in the country, Cap Ferrar. Sorry, second best behind Counter. So he's at $21, but again, that horse can run on a bit. Of the rest of that crew from like the Randwick Guineas, Joe Pride has been saying that Chill Wolf is the son of Kementari, I believe. I think he is the one that is like his Derby prospect. And he's like, you're only going to see the best of this horse at 2,000 metres plus.
Yep.
So $26, he's possibly one. But geez, mate, I'm looking down the list here. Like nothing's really getting led in my pencil.
Yeah, look, yes, too right. Look, Kintyre ran well pretty nicely. Ran home pretty nicely, but he's certainly not one of mine with those silks.
I don't know if he's a Derby horse.
In that same race, a horse that was just starting to wind up, starting to find his feet was Tannhauser. So he's 34s at the moment in that race. Tannhauser's obviously was my pick in the JJ. I thought I was the better of the century, to be honest. He's by done deal, Tannhauser. And he just looks like he's just looking for further. So at 34s, he's probably the one that I could see you into at a bigger price.
Yep.
And you can just tell that's the plan for him. He first up in the CS Hayes, 10 to 13. Second up goes to the far lap over 1,500 metres, 6 of 11. Like he's one who could probably go into the Tulloch and then back up quickly.
Yep. And, the New Zealand horses are typically the ones that we want to look at. But again, we need a bit more, I guess. I think their Derby was yesterday, actually.
Their Oaks was yesterday?
Their Oaks was yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Orchestra won the Derby a few weeks ago. So, we'll probably do the form of that race close to the time. The size produce, 1,400 metres for the 2-year-olds. 20 of the last 30 winners have come through the Golden Slipper. And that's all I have. So I'm going to start with Gatsby's here. 100 to 1 now.
Put a little futures bet on my profile on Neds, like an absolute genius. A nice each way bet at 50s for the size produce. Now it's out to 100s. Wasn't that an absolute laugh? Storm Boy's $2.60. How are you getting him beat?
I can't dive into that price, mate. I'm looking outside of him, mate. The horse that I'm going to, who's done it at Flemington over 1,400 meters,
is Traffic Warden. Traffic Warden over 1,400 meters. He was good, $17.
Like first up, this prep, I saw that flashing light run. I'm like, this is the horse that I think will get out to 1,400 and 1,600 meters. I think it's the exact same price in the Champagne as well. So he's the clear selection for me here, Traffic Warden.
Yeah. Really smart filly who won during the week on the Heath, actually, for the Freemans is Amina. So they've got an enormous opinion of this filly, and she's been braining fields, albeit not in the gravy that we've been watching on a Saturday. But she's 21s at the moment. That's pretty short, but would be fascinated to see where they take her for her next run. I don't think she's going to be running into the slipper, obviously, but if they get her a 1,200 metre under her belt before the produce, and then she brains them there and comes into this race, you won't be getting $21. Yeah,
true. There's also a very progressive colt for John O'Shea as well, linebacker. So this horse on the heavy 8 on debut at Hawkesbury, didn't beat much, but he did win in quite convincing fashion by about 4 lengths as well. He's been held back, I think, for these type of races as well. So, linebacker, what price is he there? Can you see him there?
No, I can't find him.
I think he was he's at $12 in the size produce. So that's quite short, I feel. But I think the clear bet for me is traffic warden.
Yeah.
And we saw his versatility as well now. So
he's good. I
feel like if he sits midfield off that pace, anything could happen. Donny Mile. Don't have any stats here from the good people at RaceNet. They have everything else except any bloody history in the race. Think about it. $6. I think he has 57 kilos in the race.
Happy to take him on.
Celestial Legend, $7. Pride of Jenny, $8. Don't know if she'll be going there. Oh Bam Bury Mai, $9. Another Will, 11s. That is a joke. He'd want to win the prelude or he's not getting a run.
Yep.
Zugotcha, $11 with 51.5. Kovalika, $13, was very good in Epsom. Linda Mann absolutely brained him, but I feel like that was his third win at Rose Hill from 3 attempts. Linda Mann, he might like his own backyard.
Yeah, he might do.
New Energy, who ran really well in a Benchmarks 88 race. Berkshire Shadow 15s, Buckaroo 15s, Riff Rocket 15s, Southport Tycoon 15s, and plenty of others. What did you find here?
I think Celestial Legend should be favourite. 49 kilos. Coming out of a good, tough Randwick Guineas win, I think there's still more to that horse. I'm happy to think about it on with 57 kilos.
Yep.
Have you seen him win at the mile before?
I've seen him win 2 Group 1s up here at, 13 and 14?
Yep. So I'm happy to take him on in this race. Look, you're getting way better value with the likes of Zugotra at 11s. She's got 51.5 kilos, mate. And if there's a bit of cut in the ground, you cannot tell me that if she draws a gate, she won't be in the first third of the field and then be in the finish.
Yep.
Scrolling down the page, Southport Tycoon at 15s. So the Aussie Guineas winner.
Yes, 49 kilos in the race.
Yep.
So same as Celestial Legend.
Yep.
Not guaranteed to run, but he should get a run.
Yeah. Democracy Manifest. He's ballot exempt. He's 21.
Well, Racing New South Wales haven't updated the site, but that I did check that was a ballot exempt race.
Yep.
So he has 51 kilos Democracy Manifest, and he ran an absolute bottler in the Epsom last year.
Do you know who was great with 54.5 kilos on her back in inferior ground yesterday? Tropical Squall.
Yeah.
She's 21s as well.
So she is ballot exempt as well, Tropical Squall, and she has 49 kilos.
And the last one that I'll see you into is our guy who we've been talking about as a good bet at $26 still in this race, Pericles.
Yep.
They're the ones.
So Pericles, pretty much he's in the field now. He's 14th in line, and he has 54.5. So
not as well weighted, but
no.
I still think he's well enough weighted.
Yeah. So the current ballot order, if you want to kind of have a look at it that way, Lady Laguna, 51 kilos. Lock Eagle, 51. Celestial Legend, 49. Tropical Squall, 49. Fangirl, well, she's not going there. Via Sistina. So fascinating mare for Chris Waller. This Champions Day that Flemington have? They didn't just come up with that concept. They actually took that concept from Royal Ascot. So this horse ran second in the Champions Stakes over at Royal Ascot. So, and she won a Fillies and Mares Group 1 as well.
Was she bought by Yulong?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think she, at that middle distance type of areas, this is the thing that I can get interested in, opposed to like your alcohol freeze, where it's like that, the sprinting distances where I give him a wide berth. Zaki, 50, he's 7th in order, 57.5. Pride of Jenny, 55.5. Think about it, 57. Cascadian, 56.5. A Tissue, 54.5. Oban Buramai, 55. Militarized, 54. Arapaho, 54. Probably won't be going there. Going down the page here, there's plenty of others. But I thought Democracy Manifest, just from a I'm an eye and a data guy, and he ticked both boxes for me.
He was good.
The thing is like at $21, I know where he's going to be.
Yeah.
And he's going to be with so much rump steak in front of him.
He really is. The filly that I was talking about, who we mentioned as where's she going, is rolling high. She's $100 in this market. She's probably not going to get in, obviously, but where's she going to go?
Binary, I'd say, but step up from 14 to
it's bizarre.
2000. I don't know, maybe a Group 2 contest or something.
Maybe Moods is being Moods and just being smart and being like, you know what, I'm just going to dodge the smarties and just take this filly to Adelaide or Brisbane.
Because I think Moods likes cash.
Yeah.
Like we all do.
Yeah.
You know who showed a bit yesterday, and it gives an insight of when we're recording this, the day after Coolmore Classic Day. Hinged.
She did show a bit yesterday.
Is she out of the chair? Like her retirement home chair? $34.
Not the worst. You know where she's going to be? Likes a wet deck.
Leo. Deny knowledge of $51. You can have her. All you Another Wheel fans, let me just get up this horse where he is in the ballot order of entry. He's 83rd at the moment, and he's the fourth favourite in the race.
So he'll have to go to the...
Has to win the Doncaster Prelude.
Yep.
If he doesn't, he won't get a run. So that's where you have to be so, so careful in these markets. That's a risk.
You do. Yep.
I'd rather take the $6 to $8 that knowing that he's in the race than the 11s prior to.
100%, mate.
So, yeah. Democracy Manifest is probably the best one of those for me. Amenable at $26. Friend of the podcast. He was good first up. I think he has about 50 kilos in the Donny. So that's the plan for that stable as well. He will need to win his way in, which I think if he runs quite well in the George Wright, he will probably get in.
Yeah.
All right. That's day one of the championships done and dusted. Day two, the 13th of April. Let's kick it off with the Queen of the Turf Stakes. 1,600 metres, fillies and mares weight for age contest. Now, since 1996, only 3 winners have had their preparation outside of Sydney and won. Any idea who's the latest of those to do that?
Outside of Sydney and won.
There's a lot of self-interest in this.
Crone?
Kenedna. In 2019.
There you go.
I found this market difficult, but there was a couple that I thought were at a generous price.
Yep.
Now, you're of the opinion that Zugotcha would be very well suited in this race.
Yeah.
But surely she's going to a Donny.
Oh, she has to now.
Yeah.
I think the plan was if she didn't win yesterday, they'd take her to this, against her own sex, weight for age. But the fact that she's done that, 57 kilos, she'll be dropping to 51.5. Like, I'd be taking her to a Doncaster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So this market, a tissue $8, Via Sistina 9s, Zugotcha 9s, Espiona 10s, Campionessa 12s. I think that is the grand final for that horse, even though it's been up for about 6 months. Kaimochi 15s, Magic Time 15s, Sunshine Paris 15s, Ruthless Dame 17s, Samana 17s, La Creek 19s, Lady Laguna 21s, Lecavate 21s, and you can have the rest. I thought on first look, although she's in the prep that never ends, $17 for Samana.
Yeah.
She was good.
And she wasn't like 51 kegs yesterday. No. She's what, 54, 55?
So it's like she does have to there would be a positive weight swing in Zugotcha's favour, but I feel like she's not the worst.
Definitely not the worst. Samana, she's the one I was drawn to first up as well, at $17. Yeah, where's Alentia? She's another one.
That's who we were talking about.
That's who we were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, not sure.
Because she's 26s.
At weight for age.
She doesn't need to go to weight for age yet, does she? Yeah, it is a tricky market because there's so many things here that I know aren't going to go here, like Sunshine in Paris, Magic Time. She won't go here.
No, I think they want to keep her to the sprints, don't they?
Waltz on By was a smart winner yesterday.
Yeah,
really smart winner.
Probably doesn't have the class. Like, tell you who can, like, has like patchy form, and that's Madame Pomery. She either runs super or puts in a, frankly, shithouse performance. She came last yesterday.
Yeah.
Like and I don't think anything went right, but $26, she gets through the slot as well. But for these mares, I want something that's quite consistent. Who is consistent would get a positive, I think, not necessarily, but who ran fairly well was Vienna Princess as well yesterday. I think she's better on top of the ground though.
Yes, I agree. I think that was the issue for Yonsei yesterday as well. I think she wants a dry deck. She's 50s in this market.
It's a big price.
Hinged, soft deck, 50s?
Yeah. Preferring the Doncaster if she heads there.
Yeah. This is a fascinating market. Foxy Frieda's 34s, which wouldn't be the worst. Jolly Star, the 1,000 Guineas winner, we know where she'll be in the running. She's at 26s, so I know this is a wait and see race for me.
Yeah. Like Renaissance Woman, $51. Probably not enough class.
No. Kamoshi will place at 15. She'll place?
Well, what does she do in the flight? What happened?
Yeah, that was bizarre.
She's consistent, though.
She is.
All right.
She can run on it.
The Australian Oaks, 2,400 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. 14 of the last 32 winners have come through the Binary Stud Stakes. I thought, yes, Orchestral is good, but I thought Zardozi was just as good over a distance that doesn't suit her.
I'd be taking the 5s about Zardozi over the 280s with Orchestral.
I don't think she starts 5s on the day.
Nah. And she's showing us that she can do it on that deck as well. Look, Orchestral is something special by the looks of her. But I think Zardozi is the best Oaks winner we've had in a while.
I agree with that.
And she put him to the sword, mate. And the fact she did that yesterday, if she's come back better, that's a match race in 2 that I cannot wait for.
Yeah, I think there's better. Sorry, we are talking the Oaks. Yeah, $5. That's where I'm really keen because what'd you say, Orchestral 280? Like the stable, and you can only take the stable at their word, and you know, in all likelihood, they will go to the Oaks. But they're talking taking Orchestral to the Derby. You know what I mean? So, but I think if you're looking outside of, because we don't just want to like harp on their favourites either, but if you want some others, Tutor La Vida was very good first up in the worst part of the track. $13 I thought was a bit of value. And Basilina doing some nice work down in Melbourne as well, but she was outclassed when she hit the Oaks. I think she might have ran 3rd or 4th there at $15.
Yep. Molly Nickers at 26s.
Yeah.
Firestorm was a smart winner during the week as well. Midweeker on Wednesday. Filly who needs to get out to further. Firestorm, $51. Queen of Dragons. She won on Friday night, was it?
$17, I think.
Yep, she's 51s.
You know why I know that? I didn't see the race, but one Joshua McClelland of Perth Prince fame, allegedly, sent me a combo where that was his first up leg.
Shit. Another one who I know is targeting this race, might be in a set of silk, sort of green with red stars. Automation at 100s. She's heading here.
Honestly, that dog, he's on his... Might have to give him a warning. Yeah. I'd say, Zardozi's the one for me at $5. Like, I hope they both go there, or Kestrel and Zardozi.
Oh yeah,
That'd be chef's kiss sort of stuff.
yes.
Like the market liked 3 of them last year. Pavitra. Drifter dropped into our DMs. Was like, where the hell's Pavitra? I'm like, I haven't thought of that horse in a year.
No.
So she was 480, Pennywecker, and there was another one at 480 as well. So
Yeah. Arts.
that's right.
Oh, I know.
Where is she now?
God knows.
Okay. Let's go to the Queen Elizabeth. Oof. Crikey. Mr. Brightside, 460 rather. Via Sistina, $6. Pride of Jenny. Am I looking at the right market here? Yep. All right. $7. Think It Over, $7. Gold Trip, 11s. Linda Mann, 13s. Militarized, 13s. Kovalika, 15s. Orchestral, 17s. Tissue, 21s. Buckaroo, 21s. Cascadian, 21s.
Zucotcha's 26s. She's not going here, idiots.
Yeah. You know who could be a bet here? Oh, probably not. Say, all right, do you see a universe where this happens? Fangirl's no longer in the race. Chris Waller doesn't really have, he might have Linda Mann as his number 1 seed now. Do you see a universe where Kovalika is in the Doncaster on the fence, basically having a barrier trial, week back up, where I think, did he do that ahead of his Derby win?
What have we always said about Kovalika?
If he gets out to this distance,
He's a 2,000 metre horse, mate.
I don't know. I feel like that could be interesting.
Oh, he's a 2,000 metre horse.
Like, in all likelihood, he might be going here.
No. Is Mr. Brightside going here?
I think he has, as we mentioned on our review podcast just before, he has 1 2,000 metre run in his preparation, and by all reports, he's heading to the Australia Cup next start. So,
Okay.
you can have him at 460.
Fascinated to see what this market does post Rosehill Guineas, right? So 2,000 metre Rosehill Guineas, which is next week, isn't it? So you got Kitty Cat Tom, you got Militarise, you got Riff Rocket, right? Fascinated to see what happens post that race, who goes to the Derby and who goes here. Because I'm telling you what, I'm keen on the 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because our weight for age ranks, mate, dross.
So
I'd rather try and get some value from Militarise at 13s, from Riff Rocket at 26s, and Kitty Cat Tom at 26s. Like, we've heard from the stable that they don't think Riff Rocket's a stayer. So if he comes out and beats him in the Rosehill Guineas, he ain't going to a Derby, mate. He's going to this. So at $26, he's the bet.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot force me to bet on Gold Trip at 11s, Think It Over at 7s. You know, Via Sistina, yet to see her in those silks, $6. You know,
Zaki, $26?
that's not a bad bet, is it?
Where is he?
He's going to go all aged, I'd say. I'd say he'd be all aged and he'd come back up to Queensland for another crack, which is fair enough, Annabelle.
Right. Fair enough. He'd be going for what, 5 Hollandales in a row or something?
Has he won 4 or 3 on the trot? I think he's won 3 on the trot.
3 on the trot. He loves the sun. Is that usually the Gold Coast track?
It's usually the Goldie, but last year they had it at the Sunny Coast.
That's right. Yeah, he has a mortgage on that race each year, doesn't he?
He really does. It's good to see.
So, all right. The risk, which I've just realised for that multi I gave out at the end of the last podcast as well, soft ground, Tom Kitten. Damn it.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, I know.
So $26 I feel like a lot has to happen there. So that kind of comes in, adds like Militarise into the equation. Buckaroo at $21.
Yeah, he's a bet as well. Like this,
been wanting to see this horse on a soft track.
Yeah. Chris Waller, genius. But my point is, and this is probably going to be a common theme for the rest of the autumn carnival for me, is I want to follow the 3-year-olds. As soon as they go wait for age against the older horses, that's what I'm going to try and do.
Okay. All right. Looking down the list here, there's nothing really interesting me. So, like, think it over. It's $7. There's probably a little bit of juice still there. Like, I don't think he starts $7 on the day, especially if it's a give out of the track.
Oh, if there's no 3-year-olds in this race, mate, yeah, he'll be short.
Like, he's going to go Rambet Queen Elizabeth, so 2 back-to-back 2,000-metre runs as well.
But we know where he'll be in the running.
Yep.
He'll be in the first third. He likes a heavy deck.
Has the hottest jockey ever on.
He's the hottest jockey I've ever seen.
He lost the ride on Tom Kitten.
Yes. I did see that.
Is it Hippopotamus on now?
Hippopotamus, or potentially Tommy Marquand, because he's been doing a lot of riding for Godolphin.
Yes.
Tell you what, he gave Zardozi a hell of a ride yesterday without my cash on.
Didn't he? Sydney Cup, 3,200-metre handicap. 9 favourites have won in the last 34 years, the latest being the Offer in 2014. So I want us to look outside the favourites here, please. Looks a European year in my humble opinion, which it's too far out for us to kind of like speculate on those Europeans, I'd say. But you have the likes of Post-Impressionist, Place to Carousel, Glentanius, and the likes of those. Circle Fire was a really good run yesterday at Rose Hill, but one horse that did capture my attention at $51 was Celino.
Mate, you laugh, but like seriously, we know this about him. He's had like 25 career starts for like 5 wins, and I'm pretty sure they've all been at ridiculous distances. He ain't got none until he gets out to this distance. I don't know what weight he's going to have. Probably pretty heavy, but
I'll try and look that up.
But at 50s, like, tell me a better bet.
I can't
because we know he's going to get to 3,200 meters.
All right, here we go. What's his name? Celino. Celino has 53 kilos in a Sydney Cup.
Mate, that's a bet.
And he's 16th in order, where the field size is 20, so he's in the field now.
He's in the field. Mate, he's a bet at 50s.
Like, he's getting 6 kilos off Gold Trip. And he's equal weights with more felons who, not sure if he runs it out. Yeah. And what price is more felons? He's like, what, $15 or something?
More felons is $9.
$9. Like, Celino won the race, what?
2 years ago.
Like 5 years ago or something. And then and he won the Brisbane Cup last year at 3,200.
Won it 3 years ago. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We know he
runs top 10 in Melbourne Cups when he goes there.
Yeah.
Like, tongue in cheek, but $51
is a silly price.
Like, not only that, you're getting $13.50 for him to place in there.
Yeah.
At 53 kilos. That's a bet.
Yeah, that's a bet to nothing.
Because if I look at his stats as well, he does appreciate it like when it's a bit harder, I would say. But I feel like Craig said that he doesn't mind like cut out.
Yeah, he doesn't mind it.
Yeah.
Because
his form wouldn't suggest that, but it's like basically anything. All of those runs were probably on like, 1,600, 2,000.
It's not his jam.
Yeah.
Bro needs 3,200 as a minimum. Bro could literally, like, they were even talking, like Craig was sort of half joking about taking him to that 4,000 metre race at Royal Ascot.
Yeah, right.
Just for like, just the experience. But like, he'd run it out.
He would.
He'd run it out.
Like, all right, so other 2-milers in the race that, are our local hopes that run at like 70-1 in a Melbourne Cup. Like Ahmad, ran, that was the one horse that Zach Payne was riding in the Iron Snap. Do you see that?
Yeah,
in the Adelaide Cup.
Yeah, ran fourth.
So if that horse gets ridden out, Daquan Sweet Jr., friend of mine at $26. Like, Manzois, God, where's that horse at? I'm looking down the list here, like Dunkel at 34s, you can have him based on his last run. Major Beal at $51 potentially. Stockman at 51s, if it's got the cutout.
It's a bet.
I think he's a bet, but let's have a look where he's in the order. So Stockman has 53.5. and he's in the field.
Yeah, that's a bet.
Don't mind that. Basilino, mate.
50s.
At 50s.
Yeah. It's not a dumb bet.
No.
It's not a dumb bet.
He's the same. I was going to say same price. He's not though, but he's a bigger price than the likes of Muramasa, Explosive Jack, Loft, Canberra Legend, Bar Dajon.
Yeah, he's a bet. I'm going to chuck it on right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. 20th of April. So after the championships, all age stakes, 1,400 metres weight for age contest. Did you have any that put a glint in your eye here?
Not particularly, no, because it's always a post TJ. You make your decision as to what you want to do in this race. Hawaii 5-0, we've spoken about. He's a 15s. Sunshine in Paris is at 17s. Shinzo's at 17s. They create some interest. But the market sort of starts to fade off after that.
Yeah. I thought Hawaii 5-0 was the one. What price is he?
17s.
17s. So I thought that
15s,
was...
sorry.
How dare you? Yeah, I think he was like probably the best of the rest. And if I'm thinking like Imperatriz, she goes to a William Reed, then a TJ. This would be her 5th run of the prep.
She won't run here.
You know, I wish I win. I think we'll run the TJ and then come to the Sunshine State for a doom of 10,000 and then potentially Stradbroke. If you want to, who do I think will start favourite in this race? Either Private Eye, think about it. I reckon.
Yeah.
On the day.
I think so.
Probably Private Eye.
Magic Time, $9. But it just depends. Like, it literally just depends on, I would be steering clear of this market drifters.
Yep. Champagne Stakes for the 2-year-olds, 1,600 metres, set weights. Gatsby's is also $101 in this market if you wanted to get interested there.
Yeah.
But pretty much copy and paste Traffic Warden $17 here. So if you get a result in one of them, you're getting what, $8.50 return if you stake it correctly.
Yeah.
Stormboy, $2.40. Switzerland 8s, linebacker 10s.
Leave this market alone.
Yeah.
Drifters. Leave this market alone.
It's a lot to happen, isn't it?
Yep. But Traffic Warden, he's the one at 17.
Yeah. Like if he goes there, I don't think he starts that price.
He's my street boss.
Yep.
So same size Mo. He'll get out over further.
Yep. Agreed. Now, I did have written down like the Sangster Stakes and the Australasian Oaks, but there's no markets for those races. What about the Quokka?
The Quokka.
Let's have a look at the Quokka. I don't mind the Quokka. Slot race.
Happy for it to exist.
Slot races are good, mate. So you have Amelia's Jewel having a slot overpass.
The Wonder Philly Millie.
I wish I win.
He's not going there.
King of Sparta, $7. Oscar's Fortune at 8s. Ripcord at 11s.
That 3-year-old, that's right.
Yes. Almighty Class, 15. Super Smink, 15s. Triple Missile, 15s. And then, you know who I could see in my mind's eye running in a race like this, potentially? Like an IME or and potentially even like an AF Cabin.
I could see a Marzu running in a race like this.
Marzu, yeah. The connections do love cash, don't they?
Yep.
And rightfully so.
Yep. I can definitely see a Marzu in this race.
I could see Nips running here.
Yeah, I could definitely see Nips. I could see the astrologist running here. Very third in the Newmarket.
Mate, Bella Nips had one of the great runs of her career in this race last year.
I could see Remark at 51s running here.
Well, they're not going to go slot for the Everest.
No. King of Sparta at $7. Like, that's short enough.
But they know how to train him now. He needs to be on the fresh side.
He was very good last start.
He was great.
And he was good
Magic Millions Day.
at Magic Millions as well. So
Not as good as Stormboy, though.
no. Well, no, Switzerland's number one seed.
Huh?
Fuck it, honestly.
Millie's Jules, like one of the last horses to.
I just want to see her run well and come to the Sunshine State. she's
Stradbroke, mate.
mate, she's just a special horse.
You know, racing Twitter as it is, it's like
I'm so glad I don't scroll through that dross.
Amelia's Jewel, she's the best horse in the country because what she did to Pride of Jenny was like at the Valley that night was just like unbelievable. It's like, chill out, bro. Chill out. What happened in the Toorak?
God, like I'm still not sure about what her distance is, and neither is Simon Miller, which I think is the problem. And all due respect to Simon Miller, like he's done so well with her so far, but I think the owner's made the right decision in bringing her across and getting her trained out of Sydney. I don't know who's going to train her.
Oh, it's still up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you give it to Joe Pride?
Who would I give her to?
I know who I'd give it to.
Who would I give her to? All right, where would I target her? I bet in her. I had a double with her into Without a Fight, so I had her in a Cox Plate. So if I think she's a 2,000 metre horse, I'd give it to Chris Waller.
Yeah, I'd give it to Kieran Maher.
Yeah,
even though he's not a Sydney-based trainer, I think what you're going to get out of him is he probably won't. I don't think he'll change too much about the horse, but I feel like he's just with these mares, mate. He's particularly if she's not a 2,000 metre horse. If she's like a sprinter miler, I'd probably want her with Kieran Maher.
You know what we're forgetting? Tried horse, mare, around that 2,000 metre distance. It's Jack Bruce.
That is true. Give it to Jack Bruce.
Hey, he's going to see her up at the Sunshine State.
Give it to Jack Bruce.
Yeah.
Imagine if we see Portsea v Amelia's Jewel.
Oh, Amelia's Jewel has a chance, but
look, not many horses could have peeled off those sectionals late yesterday.
Mate, weird. Haven't seen Portsea in any of these markers. What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah. All right. So all of that, right? So what I'm getting the vibe here, right? If we have like a little place all up,
yeah,
because like we get a juicier price. I'm gonna go. I reckon. Democracy Manifest a place in the Doncaster.
Yep.
And he's at $21 to win, so you get about $4 to $5 to place there. Into Salino to place in the Sydney Cup, and he'd be what,
$13 or $14.
$13. Zardozi to place in the Oaks.
Yep.
And that's probably all I need. To be honest, 3 legs.
Yeah, with Salino, you're gonna get that jam.
Like potentially like a traffic warden.
Yeah,
but like he's already deep into a prep.
He's
2-year-olds can go off it.
Like he's more risky than Salino because Salino, you know where he's going to be.
Yep.
So yeah, I reckon that 3's plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I wanted to get real funky, like a Hawaii 5-0 in the all-aged or something.
Yeah, yeah. A month is a long time in racing.
It is. As we've seen. Valet to Fangirl's autumn preparation.
Yeah, it's between Alligator Blood.
Yeah. It doesn't take much for the Wait for Age ranks to really drop off, does it?
Man, it's
concerning.
It's really concerning.
And that's where we need these like Viva Sistina or whatever that horse's name is, like for Yulong. Like, I think this is a better prospect than Alcohol Free, even though Alcohol Free's resume is probably better, but her resume was better for shorter distances, where this horse is like for the Champions Day, for the Champions Stakes, ran second in that race, and she's beaten the fillies and mares over 1,600 metres. That's the type of horse that we need here.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm really keen to
Via Sistina.
Yeah, when I see her in some trials and that sort of thing, I've seen some track work and that sort of thing, and Charlie Duckworth like talking about her and that sort of thing. So I'm keen to see what she can do.
Yeah, I think the spring's going to be a lot better from a Wait for Age perspective, particularly with these 3-year-olds transitioning into their 4-year-old season. Like, I know we were talking pretty recently about like, oh, these 3-year-olds any good? I think this crop is. I think last year's crop is not, which is really what's making our weight for age ranks suffer now, like
Yep.
like your Linda Manns, like your Pericleses.
Well, the current best of that 4-year-old crop, right? Kovalika. And he's not running in the weight for age middle distance races, which he should be. Because if he was targeted towards Queen Elizabeth, he'd almost be my bet now.
Yeah, the thing with him is, though, unfortunately, if he won that Epsom, he would be doing that. But because he didn't, Chris Waller's still like, oh, well, he can win a handicap race because he's not weighted out of it. It's like, yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think yeah.
So he's saying it's Bradina's fault and Kathy O'Hara.
No, it's not their fault because they took advantage of a sedate pace. It's Kovalika's Patton's fault. That's what it is. But yeah, I'm following these 3-year-olds wherever they go.
Okay. Interesting. Because it's a bit of a contrarian view to what the rest of the industry is saying.
Yep.
Celestial Legend's smart, mate. He's a good colt.
He is, but I just think with the 3-year-olds, it's still like what's under the hood. Whereas the weight for age races, we were just reading through.
Yeah.
Like, who's in the market still? Bloody 20-year-old geldings. Cascadian, think about it.
Stockman.
Think it over. Not think about it, think it over. Stockman. Arapahoe's favourite for the Tancred, mate. Gold Trip's in the market for a lot of these things. Like we know where these horses are at. So I'm looking for something that's coming from left field.
Yep.
To be honest. Like Mr. Brightside, like, yeah, he's a phenomenal horse, but he's not a 2,000-metre horse.
Has one run of prep.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my point of view. I think that's where you can find the value.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. All right. We'll be back later this week to preview the Golden Slipper meeting. But if you like some of what we're talking about, head to our Ned's profiles and copy some of the best that we have there because we'll be chucking them up there. So Celino should be on your profile right about now.
Do you know what? I'm going to do it right now because I will definitely forget.
Well, why don't I also do that little futures multi as well? So what did I say? I said Democracy Manifest to place at $6 to place in the Doncaster.
Yep.
I said Celino at $51 to place in the Sydney Cup. And then what was the other one I said? Zardozi in the Oaks to basically double whatever those odds are. So that's 182 to 1. I don't mind that.
You know what? I really like that.
Thanks, mate. All right. We'll be back. Probably won't be featuring potentially we preview the May features, but probably not because there's some stinky races in there, but the Brisbane Carnival's going to be up and running.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
Yeah. Hooroo.
See yous.